give
Lions
out.
upset
Mavs
alert.
Spurs. Solid performance out of Knicks adult Slovenian son Luka Doncic. 23 points, 12 rebounds. Not his best shooting night. Went 3 of 12 from deep. So Luka just missing out on a medal. Nick, which three guys were podium worthy last night?
Well, the podium always proves to be bias-free. I leave my son out to include a man that allegedly I don't respect, Nikola Jokic. Look at Nikola Jokic. Could he become the worst back-to-back MVP ever? We will discuss later in the year. Jokic, 34, 11, and 5, and I know they lost. It's not his fault. Hey, Michael Porter Jr., try to score more than 10 points a game on like 30% shooting. Team kind of needs you now, buddy. Jokic gets the bronze. Silver medal, Paul George. Nobody cares about the Clippers this year because they're not very good because Kawhi's not there. Paul George is saying, I'm doing everything I can, America. Playoff P, pandemic P, I spit on those. Look at him, 32, 6, and 8, and a nice win over the spry Timberwolves. And then the gold medal. Again, bias-free here. Nick, you hate the Nets. Nick, you don't give Durant respect. If the season ended today, Kevin Durant would sit atop the pyramid. He's been the best player in basketball this year, and it has not been close. 32, 7, and 5 on he's shooting nearly 60% for the year. He's doing it effortlessly. Jenna, there is a bias-free medal stand, as they always are, from last night in the NBA.
Solid podium, Nick. Solid podium, which followed a solid under duress list. Great segment by everyone.
I think it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge those guys. There's guys that have been vaccinated that have contracted COVID. So it's an interesting issue that I think we're going to see played out the entire season.
Well, we're watching it play out as Aaron Rodgers now not playing this weekend. Nick, what was your reaction to the news yesterday?
All right, it's multi-layered. First of all, let me say this. Since Aaron Rodgers is an unvaccinated individual, on behalf of the show and for everyone, we all hope he's fine, that he has no serious health complications, because due to his lack of vaccination, the odds of COVID going left for him, even as a healthy, relatively young person, are higher, obviously, than if he had been truly vaccinated. But I don't want to I'm sick of arguing with people about vaccinations. I don't have the energy for it at this point. I want to discuss responsibility in team sports, because this is an obvious and clear selfish move if you're the most important person in a franchise in a team sport. And we have all decided almost collectively as a society, Broussard, that athletes in team sports are going to have to do things that they might not want to do for themselves because it's what's best for the team. I remember Boomer Esiason criticizing a baseball player for not making his wife have a C-section because he's going to miss 2 baseball games. Aaron Rodgers might miss 2 football games. And speaking of the birth of children, you guys remember the conversations that have been had on shows like this about football players and whether or not they should be at the birth of a child? Here's a great tweet, not from a person or a pundit, from a team. Joe Flacco's wife gave birth to the couple's child about 30 minutes ago. Flacco will play. There was a response, oh my goodness, was Flacco there? Well, the Ravens, what did they say to that? Baltimore Ravens, no, he was warming up. No, he wasn't at the hospital. Give me a break. He had some calisthenics to do before our big matchup against the Browns. Guys, we have told pro athletes you can't be in the hospital with your wife because you put the other 52 guys in jeopardy. You can't give Aaron Rodgers a pass for putting the other 52 guys in jeopardy, Broussard, when he could have he could have still gotten COVID, we know that, but he wouldn't be subjected to miss 10 days. He potentially could be back for the Chiefs game and certainly be back for the Seahawks game. So just how about that? How about it's just a selfish move by the best player and most important player on the team?
No, I hear you, Nick, and you use the word selfish. I'm going to use another word, deceit. That's what bothers me, even maybe angers me about this situation with Aaron Rodgers. We saw the clip. He was downright deceitful in August at that press conference. All right, he simply was. He purposely misled the media and the public to believe that he was vaccinated. Now, I believe he thinks he's immunized. Like whatever guru he went to see out in Southern California or wherever he was at in the wilderness, whatever he did, I'm sure he believes it's effective. But he knew when he was asked that question about are you vaccinated, and immunized is a synonym for vaccinated, he knew what he was doing. Answering the question in a way that would lead everyone to think something that was not true. And then he doubles down and says, you know, I'm not going to judge those guys who weren't vaccinated. Correct. As if he's not one of those guys. So the deceit Correct. Just bothers me. And I have more respect for Kirk Cousins, Lamar Jackson, Carson Wentz, even Kyrie Irving. Kyrie wasn't that forthcoming. He was kind of forced into it. But still, those guys came out front, yes, I'm unvaccinated. And they faced the fire. Okay? Aaron didn't do that. And I've really enjoyed, whilst the transparency that Rodgers has showed us this season, I said a couple weeks ago, he just seems to be in a great mental space, and it's good to see. But this throws all of that into question. Now this makes him come off like a phony, and it's just not a good look at all.
Yeah, so I'm going to echo Nick's sentiments, two of them. One, I hope Aaron Rodgers is okay. And two, I'm also tired of talking about the difference between vaccines and holistic remedies. I am neither a doctor nor a charlatan, so I'm not really, an expert to represent either side. So, Nick, I want to talk about the deceitfulness that Broussard referenced. The idea here that he's always kind of like playing this cat and mouse game with the media. And when he's not playing for the Packers, he's sort of at war and complaining about the media and his treatment of the media. Oh, you guys take things out of context. I said one thing. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing. He tried to score a point, which I think he thinks he did because he could have clarified this at any point. And the idea that this is anything except deceitful is foolish. If you were unfairly accused of robbing a bank, and I said, hey, did you rob the bank? And you said, yeah, I'm rich now. Your lawyer would be like, whoa, 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 it was investments. It was, parsing words. He just said, yeah, I'm rich now. Hey, did you have coffee this morning? Yeah, I'm energized. No, whoa. I didn't say I drank coffee. I'm energized from robbing the bank. Hold on, what? No, so doubled back. So look, that part bothers me the most out of all of this. It's the deceitfulness. It's the cat and mouse game with the media. It's the fact that he's misled everyone for 8 weeks now or a few months since August. And here's the other thing, Nick. When did he realize, he thought he was so clever, now this has happened, and now he didn't realize that we were going to reference that press conference? It was a very temporary
No, I think he thought
deception.
He wasn't going to get COVID. No, I think he thought he wasn't. We only found out because he got COVID. If he doesn't get COVID, we don't find out. And I think Rodgers deserves a very similar criticism to Kyrie on this. Because just like Kyrie, he's putting his team in a brutal spot. And I would argue, just like Kyrie, he was cagey about it. I think Kyrie, the only reason Kyrie ever spoke on this was because of the New York City mandate, right? Because it was going to be obvious he wasn't vaccinated, because he was going to miss half of his team's games. And even when it came out, Kyrie was all, that's a personal decision, respect my privacy. Right. We still haven't gotten good rationale on that from him. But I do have to say, yes, the deception is obvious. So the conversation almost goes to, Broussard, what is the root of the deception? And I got to give credit to Cowherd, because Cowherd has been on this for, the better part of a decade, which is Aaron Rodgers has an allergy to criticism. And he is smart enough and knows enough to know that if he came out and said, because the Packers are saying he's been wearing the masks in the facility, been doing all the things he's supposed to do. I don't know if I believe him or not, but that's what they're saying. The only reason to lie there is because he knows he would be the subject of criticism. So whatever he said in that press conference, we still get to this moment here where he's missing a football game. But the commentary surrounding it would have been far different. And Rodgers didn't want to be lumped in to the group with MC anti-vax in Buffalo, with Kirk Cousins, with Carson Wentz. He didn't want to be. That's not his brand. Rodgers is a pretty, as far as NFL quarterbacks go, progressive guy. He's a Hollywood guy. He didn't want to. Now, maybe we should have been paying more attention, Broussard, a year ago when he was talking about chemtrails. And maybe if you know anything about, the people he's been hanging out with in those Hollywood circles, a lot of them, I'm sure, go to a guru instead